Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So, our college, IIT Kharagpur, the campus, around that campus, there are areas where there are Adivasi villages. So, when I was there in my fourth and final years, I used to go to these villages, Adivasi villages, to teach the children there, to help them with their studies. And then I noticed that at that time in 1982 83, their living conditions were very bad, compared to what we had in the IITs or in the towns. I'm from Kolkata, in the cities. So when I went to these villages for the first time, I saw that all of India is not as privileged as we are. And then I started wondering, that what is this? Why is this? When as you know, in IIT Kharagpur, there is this motto in front in the main building, dedicated to the service of the nation. So what I thought was that, yeah, after being dedicated for so many years, still there is this part of the nation that has not gained from that dedication. That, at least that's what I saw. So then the thing that struck me was that that's what decided what I would do with the rest of my life. I said that I'll try and see that whatever I'm learning in this institute can actually go to the benefit of these people, the Adivasis. So then I landed up in Ali Rajput district in Madhya Pradesh. After my graduation, some years here and there, I spent searching for places, and 1985 I landed up there. But when I landed up there, I found out that the problems that are there, that the Bhil Adivasi, that's a Bhil Adivasi area, as Aniruddha mentioned. So the Bhil Adivasis, the problems that they were facing, I didn't have any solutions for them. Whatever I had learned in IIT, they were not the solutions. So what were these problems? The main problem, something that Chetan had mentioned, is deforestation. That's a major problem throughout this country, that deforestation has taken place. And it's not because of the Adivasis, they are there, but it is because of something else. From the British times, the British came up with an act called the Indian Forest Act, and the latest version was 1927, which basically made the Adivasis thieves in their own backyard. Wherever they're laying, they are actually thieves. They can't access those resources, and those resources are then taken away, logged by the forest department to supply to the industrial areas where we are, the urban areas. So that deforestation has taken place, massive deforestation. It's a hilly area where we work. It's a Vindhyas, just next to the Narmada River. Then once deforestation takes place, the second problem is soil erosion. It's all hilly areas, so you cut off the trees and all that. Then the next thing is soil erosion will start. The third problem is that because it's a hilly area, it's difficult to irrigate. Irrigation, because they are all farmers. Unless you can irrigate, you can't get a second crop. So because it's a hilly area, then it's a problem. So to all these three problems, I didn't know anything. When I got there, I didn't know anything. So then we said that, look, these are the problems. In discussion with the people, they also said that this is the problem. So I said that, what is the solution to this problem? And then these people, they said that they had the solutions. They had all three solutions. For deforestation, the best way to tackle deforestation is to regenerate forests. Instead of plantation, the forest department, they waste millions and millions of billions of rupees have been spent. Even now it is doing that. Take plants, nursery, create a nursery, take plants and go and plant in the forest. Those plants, especially in the places where we work, where temperature reaches 50 degrees centigrade in summer, they are not going to survive. So the Bhil Adivasi, they said that the technique, the best way is to regenerate that forest. The root stock that is already there in that deforested area, that can be regenerated by community protection, social foresting. Community comes together. So that's the first thing. That important thing is that the community comes together. The problem is the forest department, because the forest department doesn't let you do it. So that was the first thing that we did, was that we got people together. And we decided that we are going to protect these forests. And we sidelined the forest department. That's a long story that I will not get into here. But the basic thing is that the traditional communitarian mechanisms of the people, that point came up in somewhere, that what are the structures of development at the grassroots. The Adivasis, they have a communitarian system because they are a non-monetized economy traditionally. Now, of course, they have been integrated into the market economy, but traditionally they are non-monetized economy. So they depend on community systems. Everybody gets together and does community labor. In our area where we work, it is known as DHAS. That custom is called labor pooling custom, is called DHAS. So everything from building a house to doing agriculture work to saving the forest to doing soil conservation work, everything is done through DHAS. Everybody comes together and does that work. So my intervention over there was not a technological intervention at all. Technology was there with them. The way to implement that technology, communitarian system, that also they knew. My intervention was that I motivated them and got them together to prevent the forest department from the state from preventing them from doing what they knew. That is what had happened from the British times, and this is what has happened throughout the Adivasi areas, that the state and the people with the state, so-called educated people like us, we have gone inside there, destroyed their system and destroyed the earth there. We have deforested, we have eroded the soil and all these things. So the main thing is my contribution, which I learned with them. I mean, I didn't, this was not something that I learned in IIT. I didn't even know about all this. That community system has to be restored. And that is what we did. And over the years, crores of rupees in terms, this is all voluntary. They have given their labor, but if you monetize that labor, then it's crores and crores of rupees that have been spent through this kind of thing to implement these the afforestation programs and the soil conservation. Soil conservation, they have in the hilly areas, they have these gully plug kind of system. They put the stones together. Everybody gets together. Someday they will come and work on my field. Everybody comes together and works, and they create a stone bunt. Next day, we will all go to somebody else's field and do it. So this was another traditional system that they had, which had also been broken up by the state, going in state and the market going in there. So that also we restored. I mean, everybody together, we managed to restore that. So that traditional technology also came in. The third one, that is the most important thing, the irrigation. How do you irrigate in a hilly terrain? How do you irrigate the farms? And this is, it's ingenious how they do it. A stream, for instance, my farm is at a place A. Now the stream that is next to my farm is coming from, say, 10 kilometers higher up. So what everybody gets to do, that whole village where these farms are, they go 3 or 4 kilometers upstream, or sometimes 5 kilometers upstream, and they bund that stream. They create a weir after the monsoons. Once the monsoons are gone, then they create a weir on that stream and divert that water onto a channel. And the gradient of that channel is less than the gradient of the stream itself. It's a hilly area because it's a hilly area, so the gradient of the stream is quite a lot. But this channel that they create, that gradient is less than the gradient of the stream. So slowly that channel climbs with respect to the stream bed. So after 4 or 5 kilometers, it reaches their farms. So the whole this once again, this is important, is that apart from that technology part, to get bund that stream 5 kilometers ahead and then cut that channel along that river and bring it to the farms, that requires the whole community to come together. And that also had been destroyed. In most places that had been destroyed. So once again, our contribution was that, okay, you have this technology. The only thing is that you're not being able to do it. So, and sometimes it requires 1 or 2 villages to come together to do that whole thing. So they got together, and it's called PAT, and it's not only indigenous to the Western Madhya Pradesh region. Even in Himachal Pradesh, you have this. It's called Kuhl there, Kuhl, Kuhl. So there they have the same system. Wherever there are hilly areas where the gradient of the stream is more, then you can have this kind of a weir upstream, and then you can divert that water. The important thing is that they don't have all these, dumpy levels and things like that, to measure those levels and things. So they do it from their head. They are not numerate people, so they don't have, trigonometry and things like that can calculate. but just from their intuition, they find out that place where they have to create a weir on that river to divert that water to their farms. So the important thing here, what others also have said here, is that to go to a place and not go with one's knowledge. Knowledge is there, but go and see what knowledge they have, and see why that knowledge is not working. So in that, when you do that, then you find out, okay, this is why it's not working. Basically, the state and these systems that we have brought in, they are not allowing them to do their natural work. So the basic thing is that you tell them that you do this. You use your community systems, and for that you have to organize yourself, and ensure that the state, whatever these negative systems that are happening, that are there, that they don't happen. So this is a constant battle, of course, because it's not very easy to spread this movement over a lot. So even after 3 decades, from 1985, it's almost 3.5 decades that I've been working there. So it's not spread to a very large area, because the state always comes back and tries to prevent this kind of mobilization. But the main thing, the important message out here is that if we can get together the traditional knowledge that is there of the Adivasis, and now this it's become even more important, as Chetan has mentioned, that the slides that he showed, that the way in our country we are in terms of energy, in terms of climate change, in terms of water availability, everywhere we are stressed. We are seriously stressed if you take the indicators for that. And in that sense, these people, the Adivasis, they are not only they have not only improved their own situation, their earnings, livelihoods has improved, but they have given a service to society. They are giving ecosystem services by protecting those forests, by protecting the soil erosion, and then this thing, as everybody knows, the best way, the main problem of climate change, the best way to tackle it is to grow forests. And if you have a growing forest, that is the best way. So in that sense, if there is a forest there, these Adivasi people that are there, all my friends out there, the way they have grown those forests, it's fantastic. So I will just finally I will share the photo of one of these, whom I call the real heroes. There are ladies also, but basically I'll just because of this thing, I'll just share one. Oh, that photo has gone. Sorry, I can't. Sorry. What happened was that my laptop in which that photo was there, that has some problem. It was not working properly. So I've taken my son's laptop. The photo is not there. But anyway, I will just end with saying that there are these people, the Adivasis. They are the heroes of this world, according to me. And if their traditional knowledge and their way of living, the communitarian spirit that is there, that is promoted, then definitely all these problems that we are facing of climate change and sustainability and all that will easily be addressed. Thank you very much.
Very good.